Hello America, Patrick Bush, back again. Patrick Bush, running for president of 2020. It's my 10th video and I'm going to talk about myself in this video. Not my plans or my ideas. As you can tell, I have a Captain America tie-dye on, right? Superman hat. Yes, I'm a huge comic book and superhero fan. I think that's a big part of why, I guess what's kept me honest and noble through a lot of my life. Because, let's face it, there's a lot of great story and history in Marvel and DC. And a lot of cool characters. Love the movies nowadays. And I've been a comic book fan for 30 years. And I'm 36 years old. 30 years of my life I've been reading comic books and buying stuff. And I wanted to talk a little bit about me helping people. But first, to let people know a little bit about my situation in life. Because everybody I tell this to, since we moved out, me and my wife and my son, we grew up in Chicago land area. And everybody in California, since I've moved here and told this to, they see it as kind of like amazing and like, wow, that's pretty cool that you did that. Well, I built a huge comic book and superhero memorabilia collection. Cups, plates, statues, PVCs, posters, action figures, you name it. I had it all. Marvel and DC collection, pop culture, Tick, Spawn, Wildcats, things. And I pretty much built it over 20 years' time, and since I was 13 to 33, right? And over the last 3 years, I have been liquidating and selling it all. I took video of it all. It was really something to see. I'll probably put the pictures on Facebook so people can see what I had at one time. It was just like, it was massive and it was pretty cool. So I didn't spend my youth going to bars and clubs and drinking and doing drugs and smoking and spending a lot of money on that. I pretty much spent a lot of my time and money there. So when my wife Lindsay met me, she asked me, she goes, so let me understand something. She goes, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't do drugs, you don't really, you're not really into sports. I used to be a lot more into baseball, go Cubs, and you don't gamble outside of scratch-off tickets, and you don't really drink energy drinks, and I'm not a coffee drinker, and I mean, some people get addicted to coffee. And she asked me all that, and I said, yeah, that's pretty much it. And she thought I was lying, I'm like, no, I'm not lying. And then she was kind of wondering, like, well, what did he spend all of his time on? What did he spend all of his money on, right? Well, she found out when she came over and saw my collection. She's like, oh yeah, look at all this. Oh my God, it was wall-to-wall shelves and display cases and stuff in the rafters and the ceiling in my basement, and I made pedestals for the Alex Ross life-size bust. I mean, it was something to see. But we videotaped it all, and I talked to my kids and my son Clark and my future children. We're still going to have 2 more. Talked to them in the video, told them why I'm doing this, because I wanted to move to California and I wanted to give them a better life. So I'm pretty much selling almost everything I own. So, we lost our house in Chicago. We lost $40,000 in equity that I dumped into the house. Part of my collection was that, I lost a lot of money on my collection. I'm not making the money I put into it. Because, let's face it, this economy is horrible. I'm amazed anybody's buying any of my stuff on Craigslist, eBay, toy shows. I do those. And I'm amazed anybody's buying anything. But they are. So, some people out there still have some money to buy collectibles and things with. So, I'm probably only making 2/3 of my money back, but it was substantial enough where it enabled to pay for our entire move out here to California. It bought us land in Sun City by Menifee, California, which is a nice little area. We bought a 1/4 acre property, and we're going to build a house on the property. And, paid off some debts and things like that. And so it gave us a boost into our new life here in Southern California. But when I tell people that, they're kind of surprised that I was able to survive and sort of thrive with that much loss, with the economy being horrible and surviving the housing market crash. It's almost like surviving the Great Depression again. And my Aunt Bibi, I'm writing her in my book. I'm putting a book out there, which is my whole life. I have an uncanny memory, and I remember everything all the way back until I was 4 years old. People, places, events, times, where I bought everything, who I talked to, what I said, what happened. And I don't know if you would call it a photographic memory. I don't know, but it's just a very good memory. And I decided I would put it all in a book because I figure if people want to know me, know who I am, then I could just hand them the book and say, here you go, read all about it. That's me. Some of it's disgusting and embarrassing, and people really wouldn't write that about themselves, but I figure you want me to be honest, and well, here you go. Probably a lot of people are going to read it and go, I can't believe this guy put this out in the world about him. But I'm like, you want to know me? That's me. So, but as far as helping people is concerned, I've helped people my whole life. My family, friends, strangers, I've helped them all. And my wife's family, I've helped a lot of her family. I took a mortgage on my townhome in Bolingbrook, Illinois, when her mom needed help with her house in Wisconsin she was going to lose. She was shocked that I did it, but I'm like, well, you're going to lose your home. So I took a mortgage on my home, which was paid off at the time, just to help her out, or mostly paid off. And I helped my brother-in-law, Cameron. He got into some trouble. We were living in Sycamore, Illinois, me and my wife at the time, and he got into trouble in Milwaukee, was living up there with his girlfriend, and they needed some help, so they moved down by us. I let them live with me, rent-free. I don't believe in that. If you're going to give somebody help, you don't charge them rent. I mean, buy your own food and pay a little bit towards the utilities, the gas, water, electric, whatever, but no, you don't pay me rent. I'm sorry. I've let a lot of people over the years. My brother Keith, his friend Anthony, my brother-in-law Cameron and his girlfriend Roberta, my brother-in-law Ken, I've let them all live with me and stay with me for a year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years, my brother Keith and his friend Anthony. I've let a lot, I should say his boyfriend Anthony, my brother Keith is gay. So I've let a lot of people live with me over the years and just helped them out and given them a lot of help. And I would do that with almost anybody, and I helped my neighbor Cameron, not my brother-in-law Cameron, my neighbor Cameron here. I've helped a lot of people with money and effort and time and rides and just everything really. People are afraid to ask for help, or those little things that, even if they don't know you that well. I mean, I just ran into a couple 2-3 weeks ago at the Walmart. They had their car stolen out of the Walmart parking lot. The guy had an old Bronco or an old truck, probably not worth anything. It was probably some dumb kid looking for a joyride, right? Well, I was walking in a Walmart and I saw them talking to the police officer while his wife was sitting over by the handicap spots with the cart full of all their groceries and stuff. And I just noticed, I heard him tell the police officer, yeah, they stole it right here out of the lot and this and that. So I said, oh, that sucks. Maybe they have friends or family to call for help. And I said, well, if they don't, when I get out of Walmart, I'm only picking up 2 things, I'll see if they're still here and I'll ask them if they need a ride home, Car got stolen. Well, they were still there, and I asked them if they needed a ride, and even the police officer was shocked. He's like, really? You're going to give them a ride home? Like, yeah. Why not? What's the problem? And he's like, nothing. Oh, that's very good of you. I'm like, people don't do a lot of these things anymore. It's like, I don't know why, but... and I gave them a ride home, and they were really thankful. I helped them with their groceries. Said, well, take care. I'm sorry to hear about your car, and that was it, So, I've always been that way, and I really want to continue to be that way. And a lot of people were saying, well, why are you running for president, Well, I said, well, if I'm going to build Freedom City, I need the help. I'm not rich. I'm not a millionaire. I don't have a lot of money, so I would need, I would use the president's celebrity status and fame to make us all a lot of money. Put it and dump cash into Freedom City. Because to be perfectly honest with you, I like my job. I don't want to be rich. I think there's a lot of problems that come along with being rich, and I don't want it. So I'd rather be like a working man for the rest of my life and just give all that money to you and Freedom City. Help everybody else out. That's who I am. So, like for instance, I was going to talk, I mentioned it in one of my other videos, I didn't finish my thought, about Kanye West and how he wants to help, and I think he has a lot of passion there, but he doesn't have a lot of direction of what he wants to do, and doesn't have any specific ideas on how to help. I got off work early the day, went to the park with my wife and son, and then met a couple there, and I was telling him I want to run for president, and the husband of the couple asked me, well, what are your plans for president? What's one of your big ideas? And I fired it at him. I go, Freedom City. Told him all about it, and he was shocked. He was like, okay, and he's from New York, and he's a nice guy. I've been talking to him, and he was just surprised because a lot of people have big ideas, like, oh, I'm running for president, and they don't have anything to tell people. I've got a lot of things to tell people. I have a lot of other ideas I haven't mentioned yet. I have an idea about 80-20 world peace. I have an idea on how to end nuclear war. Sounds crazy? Well, you know what? I don't think it is. Even if they don't work, at least I have ideas. At least I have cool things to talk about. At least I'm trying, And so far everybody's responded to that, not really knocking me down. So I'm sure people will as I go farther along, and they'll try and demonize me and make me out to be horrible. But for now, everybody's being positive and things are going pretty good. So I'll talk more in my next videos about how I've helped people and who I am, But for now, that's about it. And then, so I'll see you next time. Thanks.